So was the CPI data report today, also known as the inflation report, a bust? What's going on, guys? It's Ricky here with TechBot Solutions. Tomorrow, the big day, FOMC meeting, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live streaming it for free. If you want to make sure that you don't miss it and you want me to send you the link, I just want to let you guys know. First link in the description down below. You can sign up. It is free. This just ensures that we send you the link before we actually go live. Without further ado, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can break down exactly what happened today. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but all the action happened pre-market. I don't know if you guys tuned on into our CPI data report live stream, which was 1 hour before the market opened, but this is why we make these announcements. Just like tomorrow, we're going to be going live during the FOMC meeting. It's to catch the market's reaction to these significant either economic reports or just reports in general, right? Tomorrow, the Federal Reserve is going to announce if they're going to raise, cut, or pause interest rates. Today was the inflation report that reported on the month of May, and it showed that inflation was actually overall going down quicker than expected. Expectation was 4.1%. Inflation came in at 4%. The only iffy part about this inflation report was core inflation. Core inflation had an expectation of 5.3, and we came in as expected, again, with the Federal Reserve having an expectation target of 2%. You guys can see that from pre-market to where we peaked at during that pre-market session, 39.80 for TQQQ. For QQQ, you can see from overall lows to overall highs, 364.60. If I'm not mistaken, that has to be 52-week highs. Yep, 52-week highs, 364.60. And when looking at it on the 5-minute time frame, from the time when the market actually opened to where the market actually closed, it was literally almost a break-even day. To me, that's kind of just like if you're not someone that understands, again, the volatility within the market, and if you ended up buying the lows and selling the highs, yeah, there was money to be made there. But from start to finish on the day, it was kind of a break-even day. It wasn't like the most significant day, and I think a lot of that was because of what happened yesterday. Yesterday was a very bullish day, and it seems like yesterday the market kind of got ahead of itself, as it normally does, where it begins to factor in advance a better than expected CPI data report. And I think that that's exactly what we saw yesterday when the market gapped up 1.6%. But today, the market only gapped up 0.77%. Nonetheless, it's still a very green day. Market's at 52-week highs, and we will have to see if it continues this rally. Tomorrow is one of the most significant days for the month of June for 2023, and that is if this is going to be the first time in the past 12 months that the Federal Reserve actually pauses rate hikes. I wanted to show you guys this very quickly, and I wanted to update it for you guys in real time. So as long as it stays up to date, as of right now, there is an 88 point, there it goes. Oh, it actually changed. 90.8% probability, according to this Fed rate monitor tool, that the Federal Reserve is going to pause rate hikes by tomorrow. There is a 9.2% probability that the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates a quarter of basis points. I wanted to ask you guys what you think. One of the things that I love to preach is, again, our job is not to predict the future. Our job is simply to prepare to react, right? I would rather be late to a rally than early to a sell-off. You let me know what you think. There's 21 hours left. Again, I will be live streaming that FOMC meeting. And remember, if you want to save your spot, it is free. And it's the first link in the description down below. But it really comes down to tomorrow. Tomorrow will pretty much determine this potential pivot that we've been talking about for the past 2 to 3 months, right? It's been expected that the Federal Reserve should be slowing down and potentially pausing, and tomorrow will be the day. The last thing that I want to share with you, and again, this video is going to be super short and straight to the point. Right now, the market has gapped up just like it did yesterday. Yesterday is the really big day, and a little bit today, right? It's not a red day, but it wasn't a very significant day. The market has already factored in a better than expected inflation report. And because of that, you can see based off of that Fed rate tool that they have a 90% probability that the Federal Reserve will pause rates. Now, what happens if they don't? What happens if the Federal Reserve stays the course and they continue to raise rates, even a quarter of a basis point? How do you think the market will react, right? That is the what if, right? That is kind of like the devil's advocate of like just understanding that nothing is 100% accurate, and even though that there's a 90% probability that the Federal Reserve is expected to pause, I think it's going to be very interesting to see not only when they announce the rate hike, but what Jerome Powell says 30 minutes after. Because for those that have never tuned on in, They announced the rate hike at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then at 2:30 p.m., Jerome Powell speaks on the behalf of the Federal Reserve and answers some questions. There's a script that he pretty much covers in the very beginning, but then he begins to answer reporters' questions, and that's when it gets very interesting. We often see the market react one way during the report, but then during the meeting and when he actually begins to speak and answer questions, we can see a lot of volatility based off of the way that he answers questions. So again, if you want to catch this in real time, I'm going to be live streaming it for free, and all you have to do is save your spot, which is the first link down below. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a direct message via Discord or via Instagram. All of that is linked in the description. Congratulations to all of the bulls out there. It was somewhat of a break-even day for those that started trading at market open to the way that the market actually closed. But we'll see how the market opens up tomorrow. And remember, it's at 2 p.m. Eastern time or 11 a.m. Arizona time, which is where I'm going to be at. I appreciate your time. Hope that we're in a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you know how to reach out. If not, I'll see you tomorrow for the FOMC meeting. Take care, team.